Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I think you probably heard me anyway. So at Local we have native apps running on quite a few of these platforms. We have iOS with about 1 million downloads right now. We have Android coming up second with about 280,000 downloads. And then we have a few other ones. We have BlackBerry, we have Ovi, which is a kind of a special case. Ovi is actually written in JavaScript and HTML, but it's a framework that's provided by Nokia, so it's native and it's web as well. Figure that. We also have basic apps on Bada and Migo. And you must be wondering, are these guys crazy to do everything natively? Why do they do it? Why? There's some simple reasons for why we did it. The first one is it was 2008. There wasn't much of a choice in terms of frameworks like PhoneGap. We had some expertise. Our one-man mobile engineering team had some experience with Symbian and Java Mobile and that kind of stuff. So it was fun for me to get into mobile development on iPhone. We also had a mobile website. And it seemed the logical choice was, first just get a basic launcher. A launcher would be a very simple app that simply launches the browser or embeds a web page within it, but leaves all the little UI stuff to the website. So that's what we did first on the iPhone, believe it or not. In fact, I can prove it, because if you look in our native app, it's still got that launcher thing in the SKU. I thought I could change it later, but turns out you can't change it. So that's there forever. Another reason, one of the most important reasons why we like to do it in a native way is the user experience. We believe that the user has made a choice. He bought the phone. He's expecting something from that device. He's maybe in love with how Apple or Android put together the UI. So we think we should respect that choice and make every app on each platform look like a native app. Not like something we put together, but rather something that fits well within that device. Of course, performance, as Colin mentioned, is one of the big reasons. But more than anything, we want to respect that relationship that the user has with his device and not mess it up. We also trust that the maker of that device has taken the right choices in terms of optimizations or gestures or transitions. They've done their homework, and we trust them to do that. At least some manufacturers, not all of them. Another very important reason for going native is the tight integration with the hardware, with the services that are running on the device, with other apps that are on that device. So for instance, on Android, we have a caller ID feature. So when someone calls you, we can, in the background, do a query and tell you who's calling. We can't do that on the other platforms. So as Colin was saying, you have the same set of features for all platforms, but we try to go beyond the same set of features for all platforms and use features which are maybe only available in one or two of them. Integration with other apps, you can see on our phone book app on iOS. We try to integrate with every possible kind of app that we can think of. So you can navigate, if you've got TomTom or you've got Navigon or you've got N-Drive, it doesn't matter. We try to integrate and take you to that destination with your favorite turn-by-turn navigation app. Also, we can do things like, when we're merging one of our phone book entries with your contacts, we try to be careful that we don't clobber any of your data. So that kind of fine-grained control is one of the reasons we do it natively. Now that doesn't mean that we don't look at many of these cross-platform frameworks. Some of them, I just took a list yesterday and I was really shocked. It's really grown. There are dozens and dozens of frameworks. There are more frameworks than platforms. So now you have to choose a framework. it doesn't make things too much easier to have to choose a platform, a framework now. Some of these are cross-platform, that means they actually generate a native app. Others are more on the website. So as you can see, the frameworks are winning in terms of numbers over the platforms. Now, there's one thing that bothers me about frameworks. I don't have anything against them, but we come back and review some of them once in a while and see, and we see that they're maturing. But there's one thing that bothers me, and that's the concept of leaky abstractions. I don't know if you've heard the term. Leaky abstractions, the law of leaky abstractions was coined by Joel Spolsky 10 or 12 years ago. It says that any non-trivial abstraction will leak. So when you're using one of these frameworks, you want to forget the underlying hardware and iOS and Objective-C. You want to forget all that stuff. And you want to make your app. But the problem is you end up being made aware of the underlying platform anyway. So, the forums on PhoneGap are full of people saying, I compile my app, I install it, and then I get a kern exec3. What the hell is that? So you are leaking. In the end, you are confronted with the underlying platform. So if you're going to do that, then you might as well take it one step further and go fully native. Another reason we do native is because we have a team that, we think of ourselves not as code monkeys. Rather, in fact, we're not afraid to have to delve into Objective-C or Android Java code or even, God forbid, C# or .NET or whatever. We think of ourselves more like this guy here. So, we don't mind doing native. That's an important reason. So in retrospect, we've come up with this strategy. Okay, it evolved. We didn't think of it right in the beginning, but don't look at the numbers, don't look at the curve. It's not really true, but the idea is that the more audience we have, the more potential audience at least we have on any given platform, the more effort we put into it. So we start with the least effort is a launcher, something that just launches the browser. And we observe, we see what feedback we're getting, we see the numbers, and we step that up. We can go to a web or a hybrid, or give it more and more native functionality as we see the platform evolving. That's the case, for instance, with Bada. We did a really, really simple launcher. 2,000 downloads so far in the last couple of months, so we're probably not going to do much more. And so I was lying to you all along. We do hybrid stuff as well. It's not that we only do native. So you can see several views in our app are actually web views. We thought it made sense, more information about a business, opening hours, or the about page. We implemented these with web views, and it works pretty well. So we're happy with that. We don't have any problem using hybrid where it makes sense. So in the end, it's not, sorry Marcus, it's not, hybrid versus web versus native. It's whatever makes sense. It depends on what team you have, how comfortable they are with native. It depends on your requirements. But in the end, what matters is are your users happy with what you're doing? And that's what keeps us going. Thank you.